welcome back. Today I am doing kind of a quick video, kind of a quick little introduction here, because I want to do a little tutorial for y'all on how to do like a quick kind of no makeup look. It's very basic, nothing with frills or anything like that, just very down to earth. You're trying to get out the door in 30 minutes or less. This is the makeup I have for y'all. So make sure to like, subscribe, comment, whatever you can afford. And if you don't like my videos, I will see you on the way out. Bye. So I'm gonna go through what I usually do for a basic makeup look, or when I don't have a ton of time, or it's gonna be a very casual day and I don't feel like putting on everything that I usually put on. And this is what I usually do. This is kind of the look I do. So we start with primer or a sunscreen. So I always start with a sunscreen, just because it's basic, you know, something good to do for your skin. Protects your skin, especially if you're using things like retinol. Make sure to protect your skin from the sun. I can't say it enough, protect your skin from the sun. I am using the Centella Mixsoon sun cream. So I'm trying not to use a ton of new products. I'm trying to show you regular products I usually use. But I wanted to try this today because it was sent to me by YesStyle and Mixsoon. So thank y'all for sending this to me. I will give my honest opinion about it, whether it is good or not. But today is not about a review, it is about showing you the actual look. So I'm going to use sunscreen. And you can use whatever sunscreen you want. You can use a Korean one, you can use your $5 one from like the grocery store, just as long as you're using some kind of sun protection. And I don't just mean during the summer, I also mean during the winter, because you still have sun exposure and it could start harming your face. So I'm just gonna start putting this on. It actually has like quite an interesting like smell to it. Like I can't pinpoint it. Maybe a little cucumber, a little fruitiness. It's very fresh, but it's not very greasy. No white cast, so did its job. Did what I needed it to do. Plus it is 50 plus SPF, PA++++, so that will be very helpful later on. Next, I use a brow gel. So you can use any kind of brow gel you want. I am not going to fill in my brows. Now, if you like to fill in your brows and you need that extra oomph, then you can add this part to your routine. But I don't, like, my brows are pretty good. Like, they're decent without any like fill-in products, so I don't really worry about that much. I just need some kind of hold on them. So I'm using my tried and true Patrick Ta, and I just take my spoolie, get them to stand on edge first, and then I just carve them out, shape them how I want them to, and ta-da. See, basic brows, nothing fancy, nothing crazy, looks very natural, just polished natural. Then I use a skin tint. So the skin tint I am using is from Supergoop. It's the Protectint, but use whatever sunscreen, use whatever tinted moisturizer or tint that you want. This is just the one I've been liking recently. I also have a NARS one. If you want to use your drugstore one, you do not have to use the exact same products. Like the exact like Supergoop skin tint, or you don't have to use the like Patrick Ta brow gel, but using the type of product, so the skin tint part or the like brow gel part is what I'm talking about. Oh, and I forgot with the brow gel. So if you feel like you need some color in your brows, but you don't want to add a pen, like a pen step to it, because I'm not adding a pen step, then my other suggestion is buying a tinted brow gel. NYX makes a good one, their brow glue. That one has a tinted product, so if you need to fill in your brows a little bit, but don't want to add that extra step of a pen or a pencil, go use something like that. Drugstore pricing, not going to be an issue. Another thing I do is I make sure to get the skin tint on my eyes, my eyelids, because I am not going to use an eyeshadow primer. I consider that like an unnecessary extra step when doing like something like this. Because I'm not really going to put on a ton of eyeshadow. I am going to put one on, and I usually use the Moondust by Urban Decay, the Rebel Star, because it's like this pinky tone, and I feel like it mixes with my skin better, kind of gives that like more nude illusion. And I just swirl my finger, and I just tap all over. I just tap all over, kind of give that almost pinky natural sparkle, because that pink kind of goes more with my skin. Because I used to use this with Space Cowboy, but I felt like that one was like a little too like orangey for my skin. And I felt like it stuck out more than this pink. And I just put it all over the lid, and I just blend it out with my finger. I know I'm not a huge fan of the blending out with my finger. If you want to use like a brush, I recommend that works too. I do not put any under the eyes. Now, my other suggestion, if you don't want to buy an Urban Decay Moondust shadow, ColourPop. Buy one of their Super Shocks. If you use it pretty often, you're not going to have an issue with it drying. But if you want to get a similar look with just the dusting of the eyeshadow, a Super Shock shadow works just as well. It's a quarter of the price, like a fraction of the price, works just as well. Then I do curl my eyelashes, so I am gonna give these a quick curl, and I'm gonna go in with some mascara. So I am going in with the Anti-Gravity mascara, but any mascara that like fits your fancy or does the best for your eyelashes, that is what I recommend you use. I just use this because it works well with my eyelashes, and that is the whole point, is to use what works best for you. I'm just showing you the products that I think work best for me in this scenario. And I'm going to put it on the bottom and top lashes, but the eyeshadow will not go on the bottom, on the bottom area. Oh, glad that was caught on camera, me almost dropping that. That's great. But the whole point is to use what you have. Like, these are all in my collection. Anything that is new to my collection that I use today is like new, quote unquote, is not something I went out and like actively went to look for this look. But I am giving suggestions of good products in case you do need that suggestion. My other suggestion is, if you don't want the Milani Anti-Gravity mascara, I also like the Lash Princess. My favorite is the, what is this again? The waterproof one, but they also have a non-waterproof one. Whatever just fits your fancy is what I recommend. But these are like $4.99 if you need a good mascara, but you don't want to break the bank. Lash Princess. And then I put a more full coverage concealer, because I put down that very like light base that just evens things out. So I put a little bit more full coverage concealer under my eyes. I'm using the Kulfi one, but you all know that like I am ride or die for the Ulta concealer. And that is like $10, compared to the Kulfi one, which I think it's around 20 or closer to 20. So if you need something like that, that's what I recommend, is getting the cheaper one. I would not recommend the NYX Click Sticks for under your eyes just because they make a horrible mess of your under eyes. But just, I put a little in the corner here where my dark circles start, and then I blend outwards. This also helps me like shape any shadow or get anything past just those dark circles. And if you have any like acne or any spots you want to cover up that, you know, a skin tin's not gonna do, take that full coverage concealer and find those places. Now, if you want, you can use a brush. So let me get my brush out real quick just to kind of show you the options. So this is my Rare Beauty one, but you can get like a Morphe one or an e.l.f. one that has like a similar tip. I just recommend this tip. That's my favorite. But you can also get a tip like this, and it works just as well. I usually use a sponge for the under eyes to diffuse a little, so it's not super full coverage. But the brush I like to use for spot concealing because I feel like it gives a good blend but keeps that coverage. Because I don't want to keep I don't want to make it cakey under my eyes, so the sponge absorbs some of that product. While as the brush is not going to absorb as much product and is going to give a more full coverage look. I also, I believe that concealer is very close to my skin tone. Now, if you want to use a brightening concealer, it's not going to be as great for spot concealing because that's going to be a shade or two lighter. You're going to want to use something that is your shade. And then I am going to use this Belle liquid blush. There is no color on here, so I do apologize. This is what it looks like. My sister got it from Europe, and this has a good amount of pigment, so I'm just gonna dot a little. And I like to put it on my nose, especially, well, during the summertime at least. Oops, put a little too much on the nose, but that's fine. We're gonna use a sponge to blend it out. And I just take it on my high points and just blend it into the skin. So just tap, tap, tap. And then I take it to the other side and I blend upwards, tap, tap, tap. That's gonna give you that lifted look. If you're not looking for lifted, then definitely stay closer to the nose. But I do lift my blush to my temples. And then I put it on my nose like this. And it gives me kind of like a sun-kissed, almost sunburnt look. I clean up with the concealer sponge any places I didn't want blush. But this is how it looks. I like using a cream blush for this situation because it is very like light and natural compared to a powder blush, where I feel like a powder blush you're gonna recognize and notice more, and it's gonna take a little bit more time to blend that out comparatively to the cream blush or the liquid blush. Next, I line my lips with something that's very close to my lip color, or something that is very natural looking. So I chose my Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Wherever Walnut, but I also like using the ColourPop ones. So those are like $9 and $7 or $9, and they're cheaper than this. And then we just line. I just follow that lip line. I don't overline, so I don't go under my lip line. I just follow the natural line that my lips make already. And then I just color in those corners like this. And then rub it in Just a quick blend. And there you go. Defined lips without too much. Defined without looking like you put too much effort into it. And you see that blush kind of thinned out a little bit, so it's like it looks like my skin, but it's not super like bold in your face like a powder blush. And it's not as matte either, which makes it look like my skin. Little less effort. Then I'm gonna use my Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in Iced Coffee. So we're just gonna fill it in here. You can use any like tinted lip balm. I am liking this one lately, along with Birthday Cake. But Tower 28 has good ones. Elf has some good ones. You can also use a lip oil with this. I use anything hydrating to go on my lip liner when I'm doing something a little bit more casual. Then I am going to powder. So I'm going to give some suggestions on how to powder. So for example, if you don't get super oily like I do, and you just want to make sure everything is set, then I would go under the eyes with a light powder. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me. This one is a little newer to my collection, but you just set under your eyes, and there you go. Now, if you get oily in your T-zone, take the powder, put it up here, right here, put a little powder on your nose and on your upper lip here, because I know I get a little sweaty there too, and then the chin. And that just mattifies and makes that area look less oily. So as you can see, my under eyes are set. That forehead right there, and the T-zone is set, my nose is set. So you can see they're less shiny than the rest of my face. Now I set my whole face, so I'm just gonna do a quick set. That's just because it's summer and I feel like I need more fortification because I am more oily. I also don't wear this for a long period of time because I know you oily girls are sitting there looking at me like, you are wearing so many dewy products and you are wearing so many like things like that. That's not going to survive. I get it. I usually wear this for like a couple hours tops. This is nothing like crazy long wear time for me. This is very, I'm wearing this for a couple hours. And then to refresh the face, I use setting spray. I use the Urban Decay All Nighter. I like this one. I've kind of always liked this one. But the Milani one works just as well. Drugstore, about $10.99. The Elf, not the Elf one. Actually, no, the Elf one, the coconut one, if you're looking for something dewy, works really well. I suggest that, unless you don't like the smell of coconuts. And the NYX Marshmallow one works fine. Like, I don't see a huge difference, but it works fine. Like, my makeup stays in place, we're all set. So I'm not gonna have any too bigger gripes with it. And then to set it all together, kind of bring it all together now that we have this look, is I use a glowy, not sparkly highlighter. So I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architecture Highlighter in Moonlit Glow because this is a very glowy highlighter on me. And it just adds some like life to my skin a little bit. So we're not putting on a ton, we're just putting on a little. And we just give those cheekbones just a little light to them. A little natural, healthy gleam. I also put some on my nose because I think it's cute. And that's it. You can also use one from Fenty. There are some skin-colored ones there. Yeah, that is the key here, though, is to have something very, like, skin-like. Something very close to your skin. Nothing like pinks or purples, greens, whites. very beigey, neutral, like your skin tone colors. Maybe a champagne, like a light champagne if you're about my color. But that's what I would recommend. And it just gives that healthy glow back. If you're looking for something that isn't Charlotte Tilbury, Wet n Wild makes good ones. I believe one of my good ones is from Lottie London, and that one's pretty affordable. Just Elf makes a good highlighter. I remember their baked highlighters were really good. I enjoyed those a lot. Just, there's plenty of options out there if you have to buy everything from scratch. If you are not buying everything from scratch and just need a few suggestions, that's great. But the point of these like easy out the door 30 minutes or less looks, in my opinion, is to have something that is easy to put on, something that's already in your collection, that you're not having to go out and buy new things to make your look work. And if there's something in your collection that you don't have, that, you know, I've listed here today that I do in my collection, in my routine, and you feel like you can keep it out because that's just not what you do, then keep it out. You do not have to go buy the product that I recommended, or the products, or a similar product, to get this kind of look. As long as you are using what's in your collection. You can obviously swap out things or adapt it to how you want. This is just how I do it. And this is what makes, I forgot to do the bottom of my chin. But this is just how I do it, and this is what, you know, makes me feel good, makes me feel cute. See, because it's not like, we're not doing anything like intense today. It's very my skin, but better. It's very more natural looking. The only thing I would say that isn't very natural looking on my face is probably my eyelashes and my eyeshadow. Even though my eyeshadow does blend in with my skin more, it's still kind of noticeable. It just gives that like healthy gleam on my eyes. And of course, I could use a brown mascara. If you want to use a brown mascara, ColourPop makes a good brown mascara. Most of your drugstores make a good brown mascara in your favorite formula. If you do want it to look a little natural, I do agree that a lot of people use black mascara because that is kind of what looks-ish natural. But if you're looking for something a little dialed down from a black, a brown is what I would suggest. Not a dark brown, but just a brown. And that'll give you a little bit more natural. Or Glisten Cosmetics, if you are redhead or blonde, makes blonde mascaras that look very natural on blonde individuals. But thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you take some of these tips and apply them to your 30-minute looks. Tell me what you use in your 30-minute looks when you are rushing out the door. Or do you do anything at all? Is it not worth your time? I feel like these 30 minutes, even if it is just 30 minutes, gives me a moment to find some peace and enjoy playing with makeup, enjoy playing with what I have, and just makes me feel good. So if this is something you would like to do, definitely give it a go. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see y'all later.